Well, welcome back, everybody. Morning time. Sun's just came up and getting ready to start working on this huina crane. And well, you can see the background there. A full-sized one pulls in on us. Well, it looked like it was from Columbia Gas. They're going to be digging around here somewhere, I guess. But I want to start these upgrades. This thing mostly needs weight, and then I'm going to do just some detailing and stuff. And I picked up these stickers. We'll get those put on there. I'd like to do some weathering, get a driver put in, and add some weight inside this thing, and probably down in the track somewhere. But there's looks like I'm gonna have to turn it on and rotate it to get to all these screws, because some of them look like they're up under the track area. I'm gonna have to see where I can get into and where I can't, but I think that's how I'm gonna have to do it. I'm just gonna have to rotate the base and loosen the screws. Well, alright, I'm gonna start tearing into this thing and I'll keep you updated. Okay, those turned out pretty cool looking. Definitely a lot better than the huina. I'm going to get this thing opened up and see if I can get access to the cab, and also I want to put some weight on the inside. Now, from what I can tell, if you rotate the carriage in this position, you can get to all your screws. There's one here, one in the back, one here, one over here, and one there. I've already got the back two out. I'm going to get these front four, and I think it'll just pull apart. Okay, this is pretty neat. First of all, there's one more screw located right here you're going to have to take off, and you're going to have to let some slack out of your line, because when you lift the crane off, all that rope's being pulled on. But this is really pretty cool to look at on the inside. Well, if you look here, we have our two winches, and those are pretty decent sized. And here's all the rest of our electronics. I'm going to have to look around and see where I'm going to be able to hide and weight around at, but first it looks like I'm going to have to get this battery cable to drop out of here and do some looking around. That still didn't free up my cab either. It looks like I might have a couple more screws on back there. So let me get to pulling this apart the rest of the way. Oh, to pull the cab apart, there's just two screws, one here, that's these two, and it just lifts right up off of there. And then the middle just pulls right out. There's our interior. And I am going to take, that's that light that flashes red and blue, and I don't care for it in there. I'm going to pull it out, and I just might drill a hole and put it up on here somewhere so it's flashing outside of the vehicle. I really don't care for it in the interior. And trying to find somewhere to add extra weight. Stuff is actually packed in here pretty good. So you do have this stack of weights right here, some iron bars, which seems to be pretty standard for a lot of the huina stuff. And then other than that, I mean, that takes up a good bit of your room. So I think I can probably pack some weight up in these corners, and maybe a little up in this side here, and the same over here. It wouldn't hurt to have a little extra weight on this side, because the crane boom is over on the opposite side. So I imagine that probably won't hurt a whole lot. And what I'm going to probably have to end up doing is putting weight down here on the carriage. I think we can get some in here, no problem. But you know, I'll keep you updated on all of that. I removed the light from the interior. It just pops out. I'm going to get it unwound back and mount it up in here somewhere. And for the cockpit area, this guy, if I could get him down, would be fine, but there's nowhere for his feet to slide into, so his butt can't sit down in the seat. If he can get his, let me put his legs up, he's the right height for the seat, but nowhere for the feet. I'm going to take my Dremel tool and just kind of Dremel out down in here some. I know it's hard to see with this lighting, the sun, but I'm going to Dremel down in here some to make room for his feet. Well, I got our pilot in, and I just did some Dremel tool work and got his feet through. And then I used a lighter and heated up these and bent them back a little bit so I could get his hands on them. And when you put them in there, looks pretty decent. Not too bad. And I cut up all these pieces of stock, and So I think I'm going to be able to fit 3 in each of these corners. Now I got these 3-inch pieces I'm going to put down these sides. And then I got a 2-inch piece that goes here. And a 1-inch piece, an 1.25 inch piece that goes there. And I'm going to get those all glued in place and we'll go from there. So I could only get 2 of those bar stocks in the corners. But I got a couple stacked over here, and this is the one that might bite me in the butt. I don't know if I have the headroom clearance to make it over this. We'll find out. I made sure not to glue that one in too crazy. The battery, that's where your battery lead goes through. You will have to cut that out a little bit to get this big old lead to slide through there. And I just took the pieces that didn't fit and just redistributed them down here. So I've got one here, one there, and one here. I'm going to let those set up, see if my top goes back on. If not, I might have to remove this bar weight. But that should be it. The rest should fit. So back together. This side shiny plastic. And this side we got a bit of weathering going on. I've done plenty of videos on weathering. I'm not done with this yet. Just want to show you a little bit of an example. And I end up using a fine tip Sharpie to go through and hit my panel lines real quick, and then I'll use the AK streaking grime and run the panel lines with that, and I'll run a line across, a couple lines down, and then just use a cloth and kind of pat it on from there. And I finished the weathering up with a little bit of AK rust streaks and just some Testors flat black, and put my rust streaks about and use the flat black kind of, around the vents and whatnot. And it all turned out pretty good. I have more weight coming. I've got some sticky weights. I just ordered a bunch of them, and they should be here. Well, for me it'll be tomorrow, but next clip for you. And I got them in black, so they should be able to hide them. I want to hide them up under the back of the chassis here, because I think we got plenty of clearance for some weights. Then I want to put some in here, right here, and then also up in these areas. And I think that'll really help keep it stabilized, get that weight nice and low. The weights have arrived, and these are the ones I got. They're powder coated black, and they are 1/4 ounce each, and you just peel and stick them wherever you want. So that was my idea, to add some more weight. I'm going to tuck some around here and on the insides of the carriage, and I think I'm probably going to put maybe a little up under this back side here of the chassis as well. So I'm going to get to doing that. I'll get back with you and show you where I put them, and I'll also leave a link for these because they were cheap. I think this whole box was $8, and there's some weight there. So the best way I've found to place these so far is just to put them on the end of a razor blade. Then you can set them where you want them. Press them down on there and pull the blade out, and it sets right in pretty good. So throughout this entire chassis frame and the carriage and everything, I have added 9 ounces worth of these sticky back weights, and that is a significant amount of weight. I had to get the flashlight out so you can see, and you can see down through there. But as it sits, they're not even that noticeable, especially if I go back over them with a little bit of flat paint. That is a significant amount of weight. This thing weighs quite a bit more than it did. So the only thing to do now is to get it out and test it. Tomorrow we get a little bit more sunlight. I'll take it in the backyard and make sure it can still operate properly. After I added this weight, I still want to make sure it drives, turns, and is able to climb inclines. And let's see if it tips over when I pick up something that I knew it tipped over with before. We'll get that done and see if we've made any progress. Alright, so my thought process is, if it can pick that cat up over there, that bobcat, and drive up this incline, then I think we've scored a win. Before, it could not pick up this bobcat without me putting a brick on the back of it. Alright, I'm going to go over there and hook the hook up, and we'll see what happens. We are hooked up. Okay. And up we go. Oh, that's not good though. I don't like that clicking. So what I've discovered is having that boom out so far puts it off center too much. So you got to bring the entire arm up, it looks like. So it doesn't have too much weight out front. And then we can rotate. So, you know, things to learn about the machine. I want to see if I can upgrade that rotational gear too. I know there's got to be an upgrade out there for that. That I think would be very beneficial. Because power-wise, this thing's got it. And we can pick it right back up. And move it around there. We can drive. You just got to have that center of gravity right. Seems to be all the thing. There, once that center of gravity's right, you're okay. So you got to kind of let it stop swaying a bit. But what I was going for worked. I needed more weight so I could pick up heavier things. It can pick up heavier things now. I might not need to pick up things quite as heavy as this Bobcat, but it's nice to know it can do it. And it stays planted well. It looks good. I like the driver. I like where I move the light. And I think all the weathering and stuff turned out nice. So thanks for watching. I know this is a long video. Hopefully you gained some sort of good knowledge out of it. If I was picking up something lighter, that wouldn't click at all. I'll actually do a really quick demonstration of that. Show you if I pick up something lighter, we can swing right around, no problem. Alright, here's a little boat. And I won't have any problem rotating this. You won't get all that loud clicking noises like you're having with the Bobcat. That Bobcat's fairly heavy. I had the battery in it and everything. I just wanted to see if it could lift it. You see, no problem now. Just I had an extreme amount of weight on there. I'll even let the boom out. Let that out, and that'll be that. So you can see as just a normal, if I'm picking up normal things, no problem. So all my weight stuff worked out pretty good. Yeah, I suppose I'll let you go now. Thanks for watching. I know it's been a long one. I hope to catch you on the next video. Later, guys.